All right, so everyone, here we are jumping into game number 2 of a best of 3 between these two players. One in down here at the 5 o'clock position on Heavy Rain LE. Losing game number 1 has to win this to stay in. It is of course going to be HuK playing as the orange Protoss player, and his opponent spawning all the way at the 11 o'clock, playing pretty well in game number 1. Of course, if he wins this, he will move on into the next stage and into the round of 8. It is, of course, going to be San as the blue Protoss player playing for Yo Flash Wolves.
You finally get this one.
Yeah.
It's good now. You're
I've
never
got
gonna
that.
forget it.
I'll
Or
never-
something.
Oh, I'm going to get that tattooed onto myself so I'll never forget it, bro.
Okay, similar pattern for HuK as he did before here versus Violet on this map. And San, he seems to really like those pylons in the back of his mineral line lately. No matter what the matchup, it seems like he likes to close the gap between the end of the map and his mineral line. I'm not sure why, but that's just the way he's doing it. So we'll see what these players choose to do here in that second game. But first, again, I would like to thank our sponsor, water.com. Check them out, great websites. Bookmark it. You can download a lot of software there. This tournament is only happening because of their support, so show them some love. And yeah, thanks to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do have a 12v13 gateway, so HuK could try and capitalize on this. Maybe just do a faster gateway timing with a couple extra units. And of course, we saw that last game, or a standard timed one. So we know that he's not afraid to ramp up the aggression and go for the kill.
Yeah, both players going for the double gas early on, nothing too surprising here. As we do have actually no second pylon yet from San. It's surprising. He kinda delayed that more than HuK. HuK going for the gateway 12. It means you are gonna have some options for earlier aggressions, but a little bit less economy than your opponent. And he goes for the very quick cyber core. Okay, not that much earlier than San's though.
No,
And
it's like 4
one of these
seconds.
probes of San is actually idle next to one of those gas. He's gonna have to fix that very quickly.
Ooh, yeah, that's actually a very big deal. Okay, oh, he just clicked on it, and there we are. He does spot it, so he is going to scout as well. He seems to want to know it more. Like, it seems like he knows or he feels more confident playing against HuK than HuK does against him. HuK's like, I'm doing this build, and that's it. Sounds like I'm going to play standard and just react. And of course, I'm going to have to scout him to know exactly what he's doing, so I can do the best thing against it.
Yeah, these guys, they like to open very similarly in the previous game.
Yeah.
Actually, that's why they were so evenly matched for such a long time, because they were playing the game in a very similar way. In the end, San just getting the early attack with the blink and barely holding the first attack of HuK, and then in the end, it just proved to be too much. I wouldn't say it snowballed, but he was able to preserve his lead for most of the previous game.
Yeah, absolutely. So everything's kind of chill. We do have actually the mothership core in production for. Okay, there it is. It's finishing up as well. I didn't realize it was popped a little bit faster for San, so it's like he's not getting his. But this is a very fast Twilight coming out HuK. Now, that kind of feels like a DT to me. But whenever I always try to guess if it's DT or Blink, I'm always wrong. So it's probably going to be Blink.
Actually, San in this game, he's the one who wants to put on the pressure with the 3 gateways. And his probe was chased away, so this is going to be a problem. Ideally, you would like to proxy a pylon very, very early. You see he's chrono boosting warp gate too. So I think he's going to try and get back in there, proxy a pylon, and possibly do a 3-gate pressure into something like a Stargate or something. Yeah, Stargate's going down.
Ooh. And this is really interesting. This is why I said I'm guessing it's going to happen first game. It's always, if for some reason you're in a best of 3 or a best of whatever in a PvP, you always see pretty much Oracle v DT.
Yeah.
And there's so many things that come into play. Of course, if San goes for maybe Phoenix opening instead of an Oracle, and he waits for a couple, he might not scout this in
Yes.
time. But if he goes for the first one, he can build that Oracle, and maybe just by the skin of his teeth get an Oracle out in time for that Envision.
Remember Sase versus MC? We had a similar scenario where Sase went for the very quick Dark Shrine, and MC was across the map with his units. In that scenario, Sase definitely got the better end of it and ended up winning the games. So HuK here, if he's able to get a Dark Templar in his opponent's mineral line and there is no detection, he's gonna do well, obviously. But San going for an Oracle first, he's gonna have an opportunity to spot this and defend against it. It's all gonna come down to can there be a Dark Templar finding its way to the mineral line of San?
Yeah, and a big
Supposedly,
deal right
he should
now.
block his ramp.
Definitely, and a big thing that can save San, a few worker kills or something like that. Look how far away the proxy pylon is. That's not close.
That's not a proxy
And
pylon. That's a pylon.
that's yeah, that's the name. It's just a standard pylon. And yeah, so these DTs going to take their time. The Zala or the Stalkers on the ramp on hold command, and the Sentry's right there to get that force field if need be. Now there's the Oracle. It is moving across the map. It is quite fast, but he will have to have very fast reactions unless he wants to lose a couple of extra units. And the two DTs as well, they're going to be able to chomp away at these Stalkers very quickly there. That force field does get nailed.
Yeah, and suddenly the Oracle's coming back now. I like the position of Sen all of a sudden. He should let those DTs escape. Ooh, the Oracle. No, he pulled back too early. So those DTs will escape.
Oh, that's always
Nice
unfortunate.
reflex by HuK, by the way.
Well, he can actually chase them down all the way, can't he? Because Stalkers and Oracles are faster than DTs. But nope, he decides that it's not worth maybe running all the way out. And
yeah, HuK was bringing his units. He was not going to
Yeah.
let that happen. The Oracle actually tried to get a sentry. He does get it. Can't believe that just happened.
Yeah, that was an unexpected win there for the Oracle.
Oh, HuK, he prepared a War Prism. You know why? Because he wants to send in 2 Dark Templars, drop one in the main and send one in the natural. I do believe that's why. If he's able to pull it off, he could do a lot of damage.
He really could, and nice unit control coming out of him to make sure it doesn't get spotted, because he was going to fly the War Prism. Look how close it is. Like okay, stops now the Oracle. The Oracle was really close to spotting that, and
it's funny because Sen, he didn't make an observer for the longest time behind this. He kind of like caught the bluff or anticipated basically what HuK was going to do, which was not send any further Dark Templars because he would anticipate there is an observer out. So that's interesting in itself. Now there is going to be an observer out, but I would expect HuK to send in a Dark Templar in the natural mineral line of his opponent and 2 in the main, but somehow he's not sending anyone in the natural. He's going to drop 2 DTs in the main, and luckily for him, stands across the map, ready to push right now.
Absolutely, he's building on these proxy pylons. The observer isn't even that close, so workers are going to get killed. And the mothership core is here. Photon Judge will be needed to drop onto that natural, and there's not that many units here for HuK. The probe's going to come off the line, and there's the second immortal, and that mixed into a lot scarier. Oracle is going to come in and maybe add in some extra DPS, and it's hard to say what's going on. The Zealots are closing the distance onto that immortal on the ramp. There's the Oracle going for the other immortal, but how many worker kills? 13 worker kills. And ooh, there's even some no, there's Zealots from Sand, my bad.
HuK has defended, and quite convincingly too. In the meantime, those Dark Templars gonna have to escape possibly into the War Prism. One of them must have died, the other one's still alive and kicking. And HuK defending this here, this is very important. He could go for a counter attack, but he's lost quite some units as well. They are still very evenly matched on supply, and Sen is somehow still ahead on the worker count.
Yeah, well, they've each killed a lot of workers. There's 13 worker kills for San, and HuK got 9. So a lot more workers were pulled and forced to fight there. So he did have a decent trade there. Now, trying to get that immortal or get some damage done. Now the supplies are super even. It's 26 army supply V19s in HuK's advantage. He does have the mothership core here, so he can of course go for the photon overcharge, and a DT into the main base is going to force some units into the main. Oh, those forces locking that immortal down. That will not escape.
You shall not leave. The force field donut locks down that one unit there.
Oh my god,
Sen overreacted. He used the photon overcharge in the main instead of the natural, and now a lot of units of HuK are gonna wreak havoc in this middle line. Probes are being pulled, but there's just too much here for HuK, and GG is gonna have to be called.
And very well played there by